All right. Welcome back, everybody. We got ourselves a series here from the Wardy November Open. Up in the top right side, we've got MaxPax representing Storm Gaming and his opponent Gumio in the bottom left side of the map. I saw these two play and absolutely had to check this one out. MaxPax is just obviously such a powerful Protoss, but Gumio is a tricky bastard. And they're both looking excellent this year. Unfortunately, we haven't seen MaxPax at any LAN events, but hopefully we get him out soon. We've just had it announced there's a $500,000 Katowice this year, but it won't be the World Championship, so excited to see what the big news is on where that World Championship will be. And it's going to be a factory into pulling workers off gas. Pretty standard sort of TvT style opening for GUMIHO. MaxPax, Cybercore into expansion, into the second gas after that pylon. So straight up builds on Hecate. MaxPax has been a little vocal about not really being the biggest fan of the patch, and definitely curious to see though, because I really feel like MaxPax has ascended against some Terrans, and there are still a few like Clem, where some days he wrecks them a few. Like I feel like he alternates between wrecking Clem and getting wrecked by Clem. There haven't been as many super close back and forth series recently between the two of them. But I haven't actually really watched much of MaxPax versus Gumio. I don't believe they have a very well fleshed out head-to-head record. Ooh, Reaper barely escapes. Hellion on the way, as well as a reactor. Command center did go down on location. And the Adept going across the map is pretty risky against this build, but if you can kill that SCV building the command center and get out, it is well worth it. Reaper's going to pull back. Stargate is on the way behind this. Adept coming forward, Hellion taking some damage. But as long as you keep the SCV alive, you can use combat drugs. The Reaper will automatically regen. The Hellion can get itself repaired. And interestingly, he is going for 3 Reapers and 2 Hellions. So notice he repairs with 4 SCVs. The reason is he wants to move across the map for a pressure. He doesn't want to waste any time. He accidentally didn't quite finish repairing that. Oh, Gumio not watching, loses a Reaper there. Uh-oh. You don't want to lose any more of these units. If you can kill both Adepts and not lose anything more than 1 Reaper, you'll be good. The Reapers can outrange the Adept, but it's very fragile micro. Nicely done. Really well done there. Only 1 Stalker and a Phoenix to defend. The Phoenix can disable one of the units. The Stalker can beat the others, but it's going to take a little while to do. So MaxPax wisely walls off his base. I don't agree with the shield battery there. The Reapers and the Hellions can kill that very quickly. I think a Pylon would have been a better blocking unit because it has an extra 100 hit points. Yeah, that shield battery has to cancel way too quickly. He just lets him right in. Uh-oh. Bit awkward there for MaxPax. He's going to lose a bunch of probes. 3 probes, 4. And with the Stalker, he should be able to now deal with that. 4 probes is not the end of the world for MaxPax, but maybe slightly more than he should have been losing. Cyclone is out. A second Cyclone and a medevac. Okay, Gumio is basically like, I would like to attack you, sir. And then I will follow that up by attacking you some more, and then attacking you some more. To be fair, Double Cyclone's very good on the defense, but he's also getting a Liberator. So he's going to try and siege up the main of MaxPax. Ooh. Third Nexus on the way out on the left side. We've got those Phoenix moving towards the main base. Third command center starts. Cyclones, Marines, and the medevac. Going to push that Phoenix back. Wait. Is he building 2 more Cyclones? You're not going to play mech, are you? This kind of looks like a mech build, don't it? Wow. Gumio's bringing out one of his Gumio specials. If it's just 4 Cyclones for anti-air into bio, I'm okay with it. Full mech, I don't think is very good in this matchup. That being said, pro gamers sometimes do make defending mech a little bit harder than it needs to be. Notice this Liberator is trying to sneak across. Well done. And what I mean by that is sometimes, like, I think we saw a classic Dynamech recently where he just kept building Stalker Colossus against Gumiho. And it was like, okay, Stalker Colossus is not terrible, but it's definitely not ideal. And it was obviously against Raven Cyclone mech as well. And the Ravens just shut down the Colossus, which are not a good unit, specifically against the Cyclone anyway. And it was a little bit awkward. So it's a 4 Cyclone pressure with a few Marines and a medevac. The Phoenix is going to catch this. Nice catch for MaxPax, jumping on top, shutting down the medevac. He's going to be able to pick up all of those Cyclones if he chooses to as well. He's going to go for it. Got to be careful here. He doesn't have any lifts left. Oh no, he's used all of his energy. Oh, he doesn't have lifts. 4 probes do go down as well. So that must be the Liberator in the main base. Yeah, nice movement on the Liberator. That's going to force the Phoenix back there. Meanwhile, these Cyclones causing problems, and he sent the full energy Phoenix, or the Phoenix with a lift, unfortunately, to kill that. He needs that at the front. Those Cyclones actually maybe could have killed a few more probes before running away. Hurricane Thrusters is on the way. That is the Cyclone speed upgrade. Notice he's going double tech lab, though, so he is planning to go Siege Tank soon, and he has a third command center up. This has been a pretty good start for Gumiho, it feels like. What is the play, though? It's only 5 Phoenix. No more Phoenix being built by MaxPax. He's going charge. I feel like he's going to need more Phoenix than this. Otherwise, the Cyclones can kite pretty decently versus Zealots. Force fields or a flank of Zealots would destroy the Cyclones. Hellions being mixed in along with Blue Flame as well. That factory is going to be picking up onto the second reactor in a little bit. Mass Zealot, it can definitely do it if you get the right angle. And I do agree that Phoenix scale terribly the longer the game goes. So if you can get away with cutting Phoenix production, this is the better option. But I wonder if you'll be able to get away, or if Gumio has some cute timing in mind. Fourth Nexus on the right side is going up. We've got no gases on there just yet. Going to 4 gas. Robo will need to start building some of those units in the near future. Blink starting up. I have seen people beat this army with just Blink Stalker Zealot, funnily enough. As the Blue Flame comes in, I always wonder how Blue Flame trades against Zealots, because it's like, it's good versus light units, but it's not really. Blue Flame, Hellions, and Hellbats are good versus fragile light units. So, I mean, if all the Zealots clump up, sure, they can still die to them. But if they're coming in from multiple angles, it really feels like Blue Flame, Hellions, and Hellbats, they're not terrible versus the Zealots, but they're not like, it's not like they hard counter them or anything like that. All depends on the angle of the fight, of course. I do think there was one fight I saw where 20 Zealots clumped up in a choke point, and Hellbats had a little bit of a party. Ooh! Oh, get out of there. Good pullbacks. Nice harassment by MaxPax. Few Zealots ready on the right side. He's got Zealot Stalker. He's going for a Robo Bay and an Immortal right now. Second Robo, absolutely essential for beating this sort of army. And those Liberators are always a big annoyance for the Cyclones. I actually had a guy, I've been playing the Korean server recently, and my MMR is pretty bad there. I'm in the Twilight Zone of Korean Ladder, which is basically this weird spot in kind of like High Master League, where everyone is just doing a crazy cheese. I had a guy try to do 1 base Reactor Cyclone Liberator to me, and it was actually surprisingly annoying. The Liberators were quite frustrating because the Cyclones kept killing the Stalkers that shoot up. Could be something he's looking for here. He's building a lot of Liberators. Obviously, this is the macro version of that. Nice warping in the main base, though. Good multi-prong by MaxPax. Mech struggles to deal with multi-prong. We all know this. Mech really does not have the same mobility as some other styles. Prism's still in the main base. A lot of Gumio's armies out on the map. He does lose a few workers, but overall, pretty good handling. I don't like that Liberator positioning, to be fair, but the tanks and the SCVs will start cleaning it up. Big Zealot run by coming in. Third base is in jeopardy. He's still trying to push the front right now. Is Gumio. He's got a scary army. But can he defend from the high ground? Those SCVs need to hide in the pocket. Oh no! Gumio is not microing those SCVs at all. So many of them go down. 20 workers have fallen. MaxPax coming forward. The Phoenix trying to do some pickups. The Cyclones will obliterate those Phoenix once the Zealots and Stalkers are gone, though. Liberator's shoving on top. He's not focusing the battery down, which I find peculiar. Oh, Mass Zealot flank! MaxPax with a big Mass Zealot flank. He somehow still got Phoenix alive as well. Lifting up those Cyclones very nicely, disabling a few of those. And that is a beautiful hold for MaxPax. Kills 20 SCVs with a counterattack. He's now got 3 Colossus coming up. And as they do get more Colossus, because they outrange the Cyclones, they are very nice at just adding consistent ranged output. They're just a very expensive unit to get into, which is why you're vulnerable to timing attacks. But after stopping the previous one, the Colossus are going to give great value against any follow-up harassment, and they will wreck Hellions. Oh, here we go. Liberated Cyclones there. Another Liberator trying to move forward. Zealots, Colossus, and Stalkers trying to pull back over there. Zealots do go in on top of that Cyclone. Nice play. Zealots on the left side, forcing even more mining time down. Feels like Gumiho's rather all in. He's not really rebuilding workers. It's just mass held that Cyclone lib. A single tank in the mix. MaxPax being very, very careful about when he engages. Cyclone, Hellion, Liberator finally defends that third from the Zealots. But look at the flank getting ready. This is what I talked about. You want to come in from multiple sides with your Zealots. That way the Hellbats are going to struggle to deal with them, even with Blue Flame. There we go. Zealot flank comes in from the bottom. The Hellbats try to deal with it. But you can see those Zealots are pretty tanky units. The Colossus coming forward. The Stalker Phoenix cleaning up the Libs and the Cyclones. And the Colossus stand strong. Most of the Protoss units die, but so do most of the Terran. And there are 4 bases up for the Protoss, only 3 for the Terran, and a 20 worker advantage. Nice Liberator harass. Gumio has some really good potential with this style, but I feel like MaxPax with the Zealot run-bys hitting 2 bases and the Prism in the main did a little bit too much damage and disruption to Gumio, and he wasn't able to weather that very scary moment in the game. I think his whole army moving to the top left was a big mistake for Gumio. He really should have just pulled his army home to properly defend the first attack, but I think he was too adamant about catching the Prism on the way out and catching any of those units on the map when he needed to kind of get back to the heart and defend his SCVs. 2-2 upgrades and a Dark Shrine on the way. MaxPax looking for a 5th base on the right as well. Hellions can out-micro those charge lots. Uh-oh. Hellion tank Cyclone getting jumped on. Oh, the Stalkers do blink back. Chooses not to engage down there. Once the Colossus are here, it's an easy cleanup for MaxPax. Miles ahead in this game. Upgrades outscaling his opponent. There are a few turrets around for detection, but a few turrets and 3 orbitals, not necessarily enough, right? He's got 1 turret in each mineral line. If he moves out at all, the Dark Templar are going to be deadly. Stalkers on the right side, shutting down the Hellion harass. Blinks in front, doesn't lose a single unit for 5 Hellions. Really well done by MaxPax, while Gumio desperately trying to hang on. He's got 28 workers moving to his 3rd right now. What? He just undersaturated this. Does Gumio have all of his workers on a control group, guys? 28 workers on this base, a little bit more than you need. Definitely a little sloppy there. Zealot drop comes in from the back. He will be able to clean this up, but of course MaxPax is pairing it up with pressure on the front at the same time. Warp Prism going to hide. Liberator's tanks are in great positions though. Gumio is scaring him back for the moment. The Prism just recall? Prism is still alive. I love that you can click on a unit and the unit's lost and it'll take you to a living version of that unit. That's funny. That's kind of hilarious. I feel like it should go to the dead unit, right? But it's like, hey, Immortal is the unit that was lost previously. This is also an Immortal. +3 vehicle weapons on the way. It's all damage, no armor for Gumiho. And he is shoving in right now. I wouldn't mind seeing a big Hellbat morph here. He's going to see, oh, a lot of Zealots coming forward. Obviously, he's trying to kind of kite with this army. That's his whole MO, is let's... Oh, big probe damage could come in. Stalkers need to get back there. Those probes are in trouble. A few of them will go down, but not too bad. The Zealots and the Stalkers do a good job. 4th base survives. Gumio pulls back. Gumio's army doesn't have a lot of staying power. He's got 6 siege tanks and 9 Vikings, which, to be fair, will wreck the Colossus. But we're going to see a Zealot drop on the left. Dark Templar ready to harass as well. Dark Templar on the army could start working on that. That's an SCV pull. Okay, MaxPax can give this base up. He does not need to defend this base. The Colossus does really good damage to those Hellions. The Hellions are not the best at tanking Colossus shots, but one of the Colossus already falls. Army moving in from the right side. We've got a Zealot drop in the main base. MaxPax staying active. He's trying to build more pylons here on the right side. Dark Templar warping in. We've got DTs and Zealots running into these bases. All 3 bases starting to get ransacked, while MaxPax is only losing mining on 1 base right now. The Nexus will fall down. MaxPax wisely sending a lot of his army to counterattack and just a few units to slow down the siege push. Brilliant play from MaxPax. Gumio is in survival mode. He's in emergency mode right now. And his main army is going to struggle to push forwards. The probes did all get shot down there trying to evacuate that base. Stalkers, Immortals, and 2 Disruptors going to come forward. He throws out a Disruptor shot, hits one of the siege tanks. The other one, oh, the Viking land behind is nice. Disruptor only lands on a single Cyclone. There's not enough units there for Gumiho. MaxPax shuts down the tricky mech building. Game 1. Very nice strategy from Gumio. Very cute, but MaxPax Zealot run-bys were too good. All right, clinical defense there for MaxPax against the mech special. But I doubt Gumio will throw the same thing at you twice. Might have been a reaction to the Phoenix opening there for Gumio. The 3 Reaper, 2 Hellion pressure into lots of Cyclones, Liberators. Such a fun style, man. I just love Gumio and his willingness to experiment and try crazy out-of-the-box things. MaxPax, on the other hand, he mixes in some different openings, some 3-gate aggression and stuff, but it's been a while since MaxPax has really been doing kind of wildly creative things in this matchup specifically. And yeah, I'd love to see a little bit more variety from him in the openings, but I don't know. Maybe it's just the Terran build orders are a bit too safe, especially these double gas builds. Really take away a lot of the Protoss's ability to pull off any of these wild proxy strategies. If you just mix in these double gas builds a fair amount of the time, a lot of the Protoss proxies don't do very well versus it. That's something where I don't like the double gas opening that much as Terran. But I think it's just because I haven't grinded as much Terran play in the last year or two, I guess. So I haven't been... In the last year, I should say. No, in the last 2 years, I definitely have had a big Terran grind. But maybe in the last year, and it's only really in the last year when the double gas play has become so dominant, so consistently out there. But I guess something I didn't think about with it is just how much Protoss players might feel like a lot of their silly builds don't work so well against it. It's a TvT opening. I mean, I was telling people for years in 2v2, this is how you should open every 2v2 game. Do the TvT build, do the mirror matchup build, go for the double gas, get a faster factory before pulling off gas and expanding. And it just keeps you so safe versus anything people can throw at you in team games. And it also keeps you so safe against Protoss and their dirty early game shenanigans. Command center starts up. Adept shading down. GUMIHO is going to have to potentially back away from that. The Adept does cancel the shade. And GUMIHO is like, oh, get out, get out, get out. Twilight Council goes on behind this. And there's actually a Chrono and a second Adept, so it looks like MaxPax, does he actually send both Adepts across or just one? Looks like he'll keep one at home. I mean, if you get caught without a gateway unit at home, the Reaper can kill like 5 probes and basically ruin your whole build order. Not worth that gamble. When I'm scouting early, I'm afraid to look for more than 2 seconds because I don't want to get behind on my build. How bad is it really to be 5 seconds late in a robo or second gas, etc.? Not a bad question from Basic Cupcake. Ooh, Adept's going to shade away. It's not the end of the world until you're higher level, to put it simply. Oh, Reaper kills the Adept. Very nice for GUMIHO, and that's frustrating for MaxPax because he doesn't really get any info, loses his Reaper, and there are Cyclones in production as well as Marines. Only one Cyclone for now, but that could still turn into a very aggressive opening. MaxPax looks like he's going to go for the 3-gate Blink Robo. I guess while we've got a bit of chill time, we can answer that question in a little more detail. As long as you're not staring, like if you're scouting your opponent's base and you're staring at it and you're like, oh, there's a 3rd gate. That's a Robo. There's a pylon. Like you don't want to be scouting like that. When you're scouting, you want to just be looking for simple things. So for instance, whenever my bronze to GMs, a lot of the time I tell people to just hide a worker behind the natural. And then if you're like, oh, there's no expansion there, you don't even need to look at the scout. You can look at the minimap and see that there's no expansion, right? You're like, oh, it's 3:30, there's no expansion. I have a set list of safety precautions I take and extra scouting I do if we hit that condition. But it's just one very basic thing that you actually hit. Oh, Stalker's derping around. Okay, we've got a drop going in towards the main. 5 Marine drop there. 2 Cyclones and a Reaper hanging out at the 3rd base. The Marine drop in the main is going to catch MaxPax a little unprepared right now. He's losing a pylon on the low ground. You know what? Great patient play by GUMIHO. He doesn't overcommit. He's like, oh cool, I kill a Stalker, I kill a Probe, I kill a pylon, and then I can just chill. 3 Cyclones and a Reaper is such a big force, and oh no, he does say, okay, he saves 2 of those units, gets over the high ground. But dude, this is really frustrating for MaxPax. He's like, dude, you have no business being here. I am the one who should be bullying you right now, but oh my god, GUMIHO goes balls to the wall and just engages and ambushes him. I think he realized he wasn't going to get home against Blink, so he's like, fuck it, I'm just going to jump on top. And MaxPax was so thinking, oh, you have to retreat now because I have Blink. He didn't realize, he didn't respect it, and he loses way more units than he should have. The whole thing is when Blink is finished, Terran should not really be able to kill anything on the Protoss side of the map. Not for a few minutes, not until Stim finishes, really. But instead, the unit's loss time is really bad for MaxPax. And as long as Gumio can get like a bunker up and defend, which, to be fair, he's pretty slow on the bunker, but he's got 2 tanks. He's got a good little ball of Marines. That tank should not siege so far south. That's a terrible tank position. Don't siege it there. He should put it up here, surely. The problem with sieging a tank down here is the tanks aren't defending each other. He might get away with it, but he's got to be really careful with this tank. Gumio right now, leaving it out in the open. Bizarre play for Gumiho. Okay, there we go. That's a better tank position. Still a little bit exposed. Bunker. Uh-oh. Bunker's taking big damage. He tries to salvage it. Doesn't get to salvage it in time. No return of 75 minerals. Dark Shrines coming in behind it, as well as a third base. MaxPax getting a little bit of damage there, but nowhere near as much as he took before this. Remember, he's lost 6 Stalkers so far. He knows that Gumio's super prepared now with 3 tanks. Gumio's tank spread is a little far apart, but I think it's fine. I think he's well enough ready in terms of overall unit numbers. It'll be a-okay. Tank gets a shot off on those Stalkers. And already a Stalker for an SCV. Not a great trade for MaxPax. Desperate for more damage, but unable to find it. Charge is on the way. Dark Shrine as well as a Forge. Clem has not been that great compared to Cyril and Reyna recently. Interesting discussion you guys are having in the chat. In Premier events, Clem's never been able to match those guys. You put him in the EU regionals, he's just as good as Cyril or Reyna, maybe even a bit more consistent than one of them individually. But together, Clem is actually unstoppable right now. He's been going toe-to-toe with MaxPax, but that's such a different Terran to Gumio. And I feel like Gumio gives so many problems to the foreign Terran players, or Protoss players, because they're so used to playing against Clem and Hero Marine, who are rather standard Terrans, and they play Gumio, and he's such a weirdo. And they're like, they're so caught off guard by most of his maneuvers. Oh, look at that, there's even a turret there. Oh, that's not good. He's going to go in with the Prism, trying to do this Dark Templar drop, but the Raven is out front. Oh no, the Marines catch the Prism! Oh my gosh, okay. So he loses a Prism with a Dark Templar in it, he gets 3 SCVs, and then loses that Dark Templar. This is going from bad to worse. Robobay's on the way, Charge, +1, Immortals all coming out right now. Lots and lots of gateways are building, 8 of them up. Ooh. It's a great tank line. I mean, Gumio's got a 3rd command center, but I feel like he could just go kill him now. He's going to go for a triple drop with a Raven into the main while just turtling at home. And I think a guy who's been this in your face all game, this is easier than just moving across. Oh, if those Zealots come in, they could get 2 tanks. The Bio needs to be nearby to protect against that. Stalkers and Zealots do spot the Bio there. I think MaxPax gets kind of scared by that. He's like, wait, why is their Bio so far forward on its own? What's going on? The rest of the army's looking forward to coming in. Gumio's just unsieged his tanks, maybe at the worst possible time. But this is going to distract MaxPax away from the big triple drop, which unloads down here. Interference Matrix. He never made it. He's going to just go auto turrets. 3 auto turrets go down, adding some pretty nice damage. Trying to pull back his MaxPax. Gumio going for broke right now, and with good reason. He's got a big opening here. The rest of his army's attacking on the north. The Blink will shut all of this down eventually with the Zealot warp in, but look at the focus fire. Goes after the Stalkers. Those are the high value targets right now. You gotta find yourself a high value target. Don't be going for any of those low value targets. You're better than that, honey. Raven's gonna go down. No, auto turret does drop just before it can go down. The tanks are sieged. He lost mining on the 3rd temporarily, but Gumio kept his SCVs alive. The Dark Templar coming in, but of course Gumio should be noticing that. He scans, does lose 1 tank to the Dark Templar, but as long as he can keep these other tanks alive, it's lights out for MaxPax. And it looks like it should be tying up this series. The tanks just won't die. One of them finally goes down. Another Dark Templar trying to warp in, but that's his whole army. 1 Colossus, 1 Dark Templar. Scan saves the other tank, and as the rally comes in, it does look like a very impressive victory for Gumiho, who, by the way, is rallying only 1 Marauder at a time. That's interesting. He has 3 tech labs. He's just queued up a lot of Marines right now. Dark Templar finally cleaning up the last siege tanks, but massive, massive game-ending damage has been done. The last Colossus standing there out on its own. MaxPax has to tap out. Gumio is going to force a game 3. All right, guys. MaxPax in the top right side. He's going to scout immediately and finds Gumio being a cheeky bugger. Now, there's no point sending a second probe down. Can he not get that SCV? Could he? What the frig is wrong with that probe? It easily could have attacked that SCV the whole time, but it was just derping out for some reason. That was really weird. Could have maybe killed the SCV. I don't think he would have stopped the barracks building either way, but it's a little unfortunate for MaxPax. Does start a Zealot here. He's going to go for a Cybercore Zealot Nexus and then Pylon by the looks of it. Not a bad way to do things. And I think at this point he's realizing, oh wait, I didn't need to bring a second probe down. I already had that guy. Slight inefficiency for MaxPax. Inexcusable. This is a very close Reaper. Now, MaxPax is one of the best probe microers in the game. Oh, here we go, guys. Reaper's jumping into the main base. Oh, probe. Oh, nice micro by MaxPax. Oh, he even cuts off the Reaper from chasing through the choke point. Good micro by MaxPax. And notice he's pulling the weak probe away so the Reaper can't circle back to it. Oh, he gets it though. Gumio, you tricky bugger. Adept's out. I would have lost 4 probes there. MaxPax only loses 1 in mining time. Really well done. Because remember, this is not free. Gumio is building 2 Reapers. He's now got to float the barracks all the way home. The probe is scouting everything that Gumio is up to. Gotta send that barracks home, buddy. Okay. If you forget to send the barracks home, it really messes your build. I'd love to see him try to kill this SCV. Because you know the Reaper's heading back. Adept's going to try and chase him down. Oh, if the Adept can get on this command center, that'd be great. MaxPax, as long as he doesn't die to the Widowmine, should be good. Oh, MaxPax. MaxPax. Oh, God, he might not be watching. There's a Widowmine. It's hidden right there. Oh, unfortunate for Maxi. He could have done big damage by delaying that command center. Reaper's up in the main, defending the probe. Does get rid of that now. Reaper's doing that as well. Stargate in the main base. Guys, we were just giving some advice to people in Twitch chat and some funny stuff. There's a funny story I want to share when this game cools down. Okay, SCV does get taken out by the Zealot, but nice Widowmine micro, and you can't chase into that Widowmine or it'll one-shot you. Really, really well done. Gumio handling this with poise and precision, and I think choosing not to engage is the right idea for MaxPax. Go home, MaxPax. Ooh, the Reapers actually move out. Interesting. Another Adept coming forward. That means he doesn't have anything at home. Those 2 Reapers. An ambitious move sending those forwards across the map. Oh, there's a Widowmine in the mineral line as well. Oh, is he going to delay it again? Oh, the SCV rotates at the perfect time. But well worth killing that. Nicely done. That command center has actually been delayed a fair bit now. Gumio is also supply blocked on 39 because he needs the command center to finish to get on supply blocked. But here come the Reapers in the main. Phoenix can pick up one of these Reapers, takes away half of their firepower. That Adept is going to get out of there. Oh no! Get out! No, MaxPax! Oh, he's not watching. The Adept barely goes down before shading out. Does take out one of the Reapers, but those Reapers doing big damage and disruption. Gumio is bringing MaxPax to the Chaos Zone and forces him to use another lift to deal with that Reaper. God, he's annoying. And you know what? That means you don't have enough lifts to deal with these Widowmines. And you've only built 2 Phoenix into Robo and 3rd and 4th gas. He should know there's a Widowmine drop coming. He sees a Widowmine. He does see a Widowmine there. MaxPax. He's going to move down. Don't chase into it. Don't chase into it. Okay, 4 Widowmines. As long as the Phoenix keep this pinned, that'll be good. I'd love to see him spread his Phoenix on both sides. Good movements with those Phoenix. Just keeping them on one control group so it's easy to micro now, keeping them in one position. If you split them on both sides, you might accidentally click them one direction and drive one through the Widowmines. 4 Marines are building at a time behind this. And a medevac. Wait, he's building a Cyclone Mass Marine medevac. Gumio's going all in. Gumio is going all in right now, the Mad Dog. Is he just trying to hit pre-Colossus? It looks like it. I think this is just I'm going to kill the 3rd base. Maybe not an all-in, but a very stiff timing, because he's not building add-ons on these 2 buildings, which is all the factory. I think he hits with this medevac coming out. Yeah. So he's going to have stim as he attacks. He's going to have stim, 2 Cyclones, 13 Marines, 1 medevac, and 4 Widowmines that are going to go drop the back door at the same time. And the thing is, what are you going to defend with? MaxPax has 2 Adepts, a Stalker. He's going to have an Immortal as well. His Phoenix are going to be occupied either helping on the front, in which case the Widowmine drop ruins him, or he's defending the Widowmine drop with the Phoenix, the slightest mistake of which will be punished brutally. Force field! Okay, not a bad force field, but he only gets one Cyclone. And that means the rest of the army is right here. This is a scary moment in this game. That Colossus has just started. He needs to chrono that so badly. Oh, the Widow Mine's just going to drop on the front line. Phoenix are trying to pick him up. One of them will fire in a moment. There we go. It is burrowed. First one fires on the sentry. The Immortal really making a good account of itself. Stim is not quite finished. Gumio felt like surprise was the priority, not the efficiency. And I've got to agree with him. It's paid off. He now has Stim finished. And if he can kill this third, he's got a good setup behind it. He's got to kill this third base, though. Is there a way to defend this? I think MaxPax is basically saying, I must defend this. And I agree with him. I think he has to, and I think he can. Oh, the Widow Mine's about to come off cooldown, though. Watch out for that Widow Mine. Does shoot on the probe. MaxPax even rotates a low hit point. Phoenix back. Great hold by MaxPax. Keeps the third alive. Yes, he takes some damage, but it's about even in that regard, and the third base has just started for Gumiho whilst it's finished for MaxPax. Gumio has now got an extra tech lab and a reactor up. Dude, this is awesome. Oh, okay, Phoenix come in, pick up the SCV on the command center. Widow Mine starting to get picked off there in the main base as well. Nice Phoenix harassment. Oh, he gets another SCV. That's going to trigger Gumio a little bit. Now he's going to bring a third SCV down to build that command center. A massive delay. Building it on location saves you a lot of lifting time, but it is so much more exposed and very vulnerable to harassment. People in chat were asking, why didn't he just reap a wall off? Wouldn't that make the opening earlier? You can't do that reactively. You have to choose to do that from the start of the game because you've already placed your pylons by the time the barracks is spotted. And if you put those buildings there, they're very easy for the opponent to kill later on in the game. Widow Mine drops coming in. Snap recall on the Phoenix. Oh, Armory's done, guys. Oh, he manages to pick him up. Oh, clutch play. Absolutely clutch. Very nicely done there by MaxPax. Dude, MaxPax is in the lead from a really scary start. And that was such a weird timing from Gumio. Such a cute one, but now it's a tough position for Gumi, where Gumio's third got delayed. He's got a decent little army. Oh, no, MaxPax, that's bad. Oh, MaxPax places a fourth. Somehow he cancels it in time. By golly, he's quick. Remember, these guys are playing cross-server. Whenever you play Korean versus EU, you're always playing on the NA server. You've both got a fair bit of lag. That's insane. All right, guys, 6 more gateways are on the way. It's going to be 8 gate, but he's forgotten to make charge. MaxPax. He's got the Viagra upgrade. Ooh, Widow Mine does take out a Phoenix. Nicely done. Another Widow Mine. Oh, pulls back from that one at least. He's got an Observer coming forward. He's going to use that to try and clean up these Widow Mines steadily. But he's forgotten charge. He probably thinks he started it with +1, but maybe didn't have the gas for it. Templar Archives goes down. Oh, and he's warping in a lot of Zealots. He's got a 4th base in the top now, does MaxPax. Picks up that Widow Mine. He knows there's another one just ahead. He's just going to wait for that Observer to spot it and then pick that up. But he's losing a lot of map vision during all this. And as the scan is there, I think MaxPax can figure out where the Terran army is. Gonna fly a Prism through the army. Oh, maybe he didn't pay attention. Okay, I think he was just scouting. His army is nearby. Oh man, no charge. No charge, guys. He realizes. He was just checking his upgrades to Chrono Boost. He was like, hey, is charge done? And he was like, wait, what? There's no way it finished already. Clicks it and then goes, oh god, start charge, please. Luckily, I don't really see Gumio punishing him in this window. Ooh, blink has not been made in this game. There's only one observer on the map. Now, this is a big problem MaxPax has and the other top Koreans where they just refuse to build extra observers. And he's actually building one this game, which makes me very happy. Zealot does go down to that Widow Mine as well. That observer does get sniped. So he's going to use the observer and the Zealot to clean up those Widow Mines. But I actually think the Widow Mine will kill this Zealot before the observer gets there. And if he loses the observer and the Zealot, that would be an absolute nightmare. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't you do it. Okay. The observer did stop moving. Oh, if he loses this one, he'll be frustrated. The Colossus are there to cover. MaxPax so distracted by this Widow Mine shenanigans, though. His top base is so exposed and there's no energy for recall. You're kidding me. Oh, it's a disaster, mate. Oh, Gumio finds an opening off the back of the Widow Mine harassment. The Armory Widow Mines were so worth it. There is a Zealot drop in the main base coming in. The non-charged Zealots, they are about to have charge in a few seconds. He's going to do a little bit of damage, but Gumio's got a good squad of units there ready. And the Zealots are going to go down for a single SCV. 4th base has gone down. MaxPax is going from a pretty good position to a pretty bad position. The spread of bases on Solaris is quite broad. It's very hard for a Protoss player to just turtle up with something like Phoenix Colossus, and one has to question the choice to play Phoenix Colossus in the first place on a map where your 4th and 5th base are so spread. Perhaps this was a bad build choice by MaxPax. Gumio's got his 4th base going up right now. MaxPax still has a pretty killer army, but Gumio's is getting stronger. He's got 2-1 upgrades versus just +1 attack. +1 armor's not quite ready. And he's coming in ready for a base trade. He catches the Colossus. Oh no! MaxPax goes to Pound Town. Gumio grabs him by the hand and takes him there. And he says, no worries, mate. I got free tickets to the show. I got free tickets to the Pound Town show, mate. And he absolutely obliterates the Colossus on the top. Now the army in the south kites backwards. The Widow Mines layered backwards. Ghosts and Marauders catch the Zealots. And what a swift turn this went. From MaxPax being in the lead to Widow Mines making him fall apart rather suddenly. The Widow Mine truly is the great equalizer in this matchup. You know, it's funny because I've really been seeing a lot of people talk about the Widow Mine so overpowered it needs to be nerfed, but it really is such a big part of TVP. I feel like we need to actually maybe buff some other Terran stuff. That's it, guys. Let's get rid of Disruptors and Widow Mines, call a truce between the Protoss and Terran hatred, and then let's give stronger Zealots and Stalkers and, I don't know, make it so siege tanks can be flying again. Tankyvax would be fun. I wouldn't mind playing a season or two with Tankyvax, as long as I'm playing Terran. Pretty sure if I'm playing against it, I might smash my head into a wall, but especially against guys like Beyond. 3 barracks in the main. MaxPax going for a good little desperate counterattack. He's going to find some eco damage in the third. Not too bad, but it's a lot of Zealots to lose. Oh, up there on the production. The Widow Mines, nice pullback for Gumio. Widow Mines clear that up. 14 workers going down. MaxPax does have a 4th base rebuilding, but he's only on 54 workers. Viking forcing that Viking Prism away, sorry. 19 workers do go down. 1-1 upgrades versus 3-2. Oh, that's a disaster. You got Ghosts and a triple upgrade advantage. That is nearly impossible to overcome as the Protoss. You can't be down 3 upgrades and they have Ghosts and you're down at half the army supply. I mean, for MaxPax, if he had 10 Disruptors, I might believe that Gumio might have an aneurysm and let those balls hit him in the face. But outside of a giant teabag, there is not much comeback play here for MaxPax. The differential is just too big. The Robo gets sniped again. Is that the second Robo? No, the Robo actually just got depowered before. This time it actually got sniped for good. And that is looking like a brilliant game for Gumio. I love the openings. It's actually amazing that MaxPax held on to his 3rd base at all, but the Armory Widow Mines were a massive problem maker, and it's just been so successful for Gumio here. Tries to recall, does MaxPax, but the Nexus dies before the recall can complete. And you know how the Nexus turns that army blue? Well, that army just got blue-balled right there, guys. That army was about to recall and drop some lasers and Archon shots on the Terran army. At the very last second, he was almost there. Got stopped. And at this point, Gumio is just trading wherever he can. He's almost maxed. MaxPax nowhere near it. Of course, back on the siege tank discussion, siege tanks used to do 40 damage, I believe, versus armored, 30 damage versus unarmed, versus normal units. Back in that version, if memory serves, I think it was 30. Was it 30 and 40 or 30 and 50 or something like that? So it did way less damage as opposed to now it does like 40 and 60 damage, I think it is. So the new siege tank is really good in terms of its raw damage. And is more of a siege tank rather than a pickup tanky-vac. But anyways, that was a really good series for Gumio. GG, well played. Takes down MaxPax with some very creative openings.